Yeah, before we go back to football, guys, I just want to remind you, when the game tips off, the NBA action is just getting started, and there's no better place to get in on it than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. With FanDuel, you can place live bets throughout the game, so even if you miss the opening tip-off or you want to bet on a fourth-quarter comeback, you can stay in the action. And if you're looking for a bigger payout, you can even combine your live bets into a same-game parlay. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. And right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins, and just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com to shoot your shot at $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA.
All right, back to the Browns we go, guys. Jeremy Fowler was in the Combine, or at the Combine this week, and he wrote an article on the entire NFL talking about the dominoes at the quarterback position around the league now that Matthew Stafford is going back to the Los Angeles Rams. And he mentioned in his article that the Browns will likely draft a quarterback at 2, but they're also interested in bringing in a veteran quarterback. And the 3 veteran quarterbacks he's heard most tied to Cleveland are Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, and Carson Wentz. G, you said you liked Kirk Cousins earlier, so I want to start with Earl on this because I'm assuming you're not going to change your answer from 46 minutes ago. But Earl, if your 3 options for the sake of this discussion are the 3 Jeremy Fowler mentioned tied to the Browns: Wentz, Daniel Jones, and Kirk Cousins. Of those 3, who would you be most in favor of the Browns pursuing as a veteran quarterback?
I'm changing my mind publicly from what I told you privately. Privately, I told you it was Daniel Jones. The reason why I said Daniel Jones initially is because I went back to what Tommy Rees said in his introductory press conference, that he needed a guy that was athletic, mobile, and can extend plays. Of the quarterbacks mentioned, he's the youngest, he's the most athletic, he can extend plays the most. But Daniel Jones was also looking for an opportunity to revise his NFL career and get another opportunity to be a starter. So by default, he's already X'd out. Carson Wentz, I ain't got no analysis on that. Just know I'm cool on that. Sorry, Steve.
That was actually my note too on Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, ...
Yeah.
No.
I got nothing. But when it comes to Kirk Cousins, I think that going back and watching the quarterback series on Netflix a couple of years ago, it sold me on who he is as a person. And I know a lot of people, the fans and everybody like to go to what happens on the football field. But I like to start where who you are as a person. Because who you are as a person at this particular stage of his career will be determining factor on if the Browns should sign him or not, in my opinion. Because you want a guy in here who understands that you may or may not be the starter. More likely than not, you're not. You're just going to be the quarterback for emergency reasons as far as on a football field. But are you vested in teaching? Are you vested in showing a rookie quarterback how to be a pro and just how to navigate the everyday life of the NFL? And he seems like a person that cares about other people. You mentioned it earlier, like he's a very spiritual being, right? And I think that just who he is as a person is very positive, it's very healthy, and it can do a lot about changing the culture. We just talked about the Browns report card, and the lack of a healthy culture is at the forefront. Yeah, Kirk Cousins might not be able to do that much for you at this stage of his career on the football field, but he can do a lot for a revamped quarterback room, G and Mike, as far as in the film room and the locker room and just being around every single day. So for me, if I had to pick one of these 3 quarterbacks, I would pick Kirk Cousins for those reasons.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Listen, I went back and when you watched that documentary, I thought it was a really good documentary. If you haven't had a chance to go do so, check it out. I believe it's on Netflix still. But very humble dude. He's not a flashy guy by any stretch of the imagination. Really cares about football. Really cares about the why in the process. I thought it was interesting and showed how he went to therapy and saw a psychologist, a football psychologist, about how it is you process winning and losing. There was an instance where they won a football game and he played terrible. And he was just like, it's crazy how you deal with that, because instead of thinking about the game and saying we came out winning, he was so hyperbolic about the way he played in the game and the turnovers he had. And he had to literally decompress because he was like, the goal is to win. And yes, I want to play well, But you have to figure out how you compartmentalize these things. And I thought he's just really a well-spoken dude. Plus, on the top of that, very intelligent in the way he looks at the game. He has a connection to Kevin Stefanski. And more than anything, I think the person that you want to change a culture and profile of your locker room, Myles Garrett and some of the things that came out in the NFL Players Association stuff, right? Players change that, right? The coaches don't change, the players change that. And so to start with, you need a guy at the top of the food chain. It's the same way when Jameis Winston played. Even though Jameis Winston had some, interceptions, we felt better about Jameis Winston, right? So there is a thing to be said about leadership. Yes, you want this guy to come in and be the most successful he can, but if you want to change your organization, he could be a person that has a very big role in showing these young dudes this is how it's done, how you move with it, and then when they put their talent level with it and their personality with it, now that's when you can look back and say the culture started right there, and that was one of the things that we try to do.
When I saw the report from Jeremy Fowler, and I looked at those three names, my first thought was, can we just super sim to 2026?
Right.
If these are the three options that the Browns are legitimately considering, there's a 0.0% chance they're not drafting a quarterback at 2. You can't go into a season with Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry in the hot seat with either Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, or Carson Wentz as your quarterback. That is not going to happen. And if it is, you might as well fire him now, because I can promise you this. If Carson Wentz is your quarterback, you're not competing in the AFC North.
No.
If Daniel Jones is your starting quarterback, you are not competing in the AFC North. And if Kirk Cousins, who, by the way, I'm not sure how much you guys watched Falcons football last year, was not good. His arm looked shot. He couldn't move. Now he's going to leave a dome and come to the outdoor, windy Cleveland lakefront and try to throw and drive passes into tight windows against AFC North defenses. It's just not going to happen. Maybe it does, and I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, my man, I was wrong. I have a hard time believing that's going to happen. But if we're answering the question, of those three, who do you prefer? I don't like any of them, so take this with a grain of salt. But I think I would take Daniel Jones. You and I talked about it for a second yesterday. He's the most mobile by far of the group. He's a first-round talent. Hasn't lived up to the hype, but he was a first-round talent. He can't throw the deep ball. Stefanski doesn't even dial up deep ball, so we don't have to worry about that. That part of the playbook we just completely scrapped to begin with. He's best in the intermediate and short range. And if you want to run him 800 times because he's best as a runner, run him 800 times and then put the rookie in your draft. So, I don't know. Trying to find some silver lining in a discussion that has no real positive outcome. I don't particularly like any of the three.
Make Daniel Jones the starting running back if you can't re-sign him.
Bro, that's crazy. That's wild.
Draft Jalen Milroe, put Daniel Jones as your running back, and just run the double wildcat. You might as well at that point because you're gonna have nothing.
That point,
it's almost like I want somebody in there who has no upside. I don't want none of this. I don't want you to come in and ball out and be like, but look what we got in Daniel Jones, though. He had a breakout year. Maybe Danny Dunn. No. Yeah. Start mentioning the graphics of his look, because think about it like this.
I'll make those graphics.
I know you will. You start talking about this man's age. This man, listen. Here's where he hit. These are the guys that balled out.
And you know what else? That's a favorite.
You know what?
You know what else?
We got 75 hot stats ready to go, burning off the kitchen oven and telling me why Danny Dimes is good. And by the way,
he's not.
If he has a Sam Darnold year?
He still sucks.
That's what I'm saying. But you know how we are.
Oh, I know.
We are thirsty. We are the
and
dude.
He fits the profile.
He fits the tough, gritty. He looks the part. And think about it. We always want a good redemption story.
I just want to say
want one.
Y'all know my style. He fit my narrative all day long. He was counted out. He was down and out. He was running to the end zone, tripped over his own feet.
Daniel Jones will make he will do nothing wrong in the press. He says nothing. He's completely innocuous in terms of He's the most Manila quarterback in
Jay will
football.
start making up
Jay
stories
loves it. Jay
that
loves
he was
him.
practicing with Baker in Tampa Bay.
I talked to my guys in Tampa.
They had a frat house down there, and him and Baker was just working on just being superhuman beings, like top level, just moxie-ish. They're just like, bro, no, I don't want no upside. Give me the old dude, and halfway through the year we're gonna put this young boy in and keep it pushing.
Got a ringing endorsement from Coach K.
He's all of them. Nick Saban likes him.
His David Cutcliffe was his coach in college, who was Peyton's offensive coordinator. You know, Peyton and the Haslam's have their.
Did he go to the Manning football camp or something like that? Oh man, this is Jimmy talked to Peyton.
It's not
Peyton
good.
signed off
Not
on
good.
it.
No.
Oh man, this
All
bad.
of a sudden, Jay got an article coming out. I was already written. It's 10,000 words. It's half done, and it was talking about how the Sashi Brown, aka with the Browns brass, was looking at him when they was in middle school.
They had Daniel Jones rated higher than Kyler Murray come out of the draft, and we're mad that they weren't able to draft him in 2018.
See, this is why. No, we're not gonna do this.
Who did the Browns pick
Lord.
that year? That was the 19 draft.
Yeah, 19. Who did they?
It was the year after Baker.
It was. Did they get a receiver?
Is that Corey Coleman? Was that year?
Was it
Corey Coleman?
2019 NFL draft.
No, it wasn't Corey Coleman. I should know this. I'm disappointed in myself.
It was the year before Jed Wills. Who was their first round pick before Jed Wills?
They didn't have one because I think they traded it for.
I'm about to
Odell
look at
Beckham
the
Jr.
chat. I want to see.
Was it
who
Austin Corbett the second round?
Somebody in the chat somewhere is probably wanting Daniel Jones.
Austin Corbett.
Greedy Williams was their first pick that year.
Wow,
You're right. They didn't have a first round pick. You're right.
Greedy Williams got the same neck as me, man. That's crazy, which is not good. Is he in the league anywhere?
Greedy. He's on the Eagles practice squad at last check, is what I had seen.
Oh, so he got a ring.
I
Super Bowl champ, Greedy Williams.
believe so. I'm on his pro Football Reference page. He has not played a meaningful down in the NFL since 22.